I tell the person, if they are taking 10 pills a day and they don't have any side effects and their quality of life is fantastic, keep taking the 10 pills. It's about their quality of life. But if they're on 10 pills a day and they've got this side effect and this side effect and this side effect and this side effect, and man, they really can't go out and do a whole lot because of this, this, and this, then maybe we need to sit down and reevaluate and take a different approach. I think at the end of the day, it's still about the patient and what they want to do and what does healthcare look like to them and quality of life. I think quality of life is huge, and I think at some point, even in the medical world, we quit thinking about that.
This is not your typical video backdrop. I am probably as excited for this new relationship with Cira Monnig, with Lakeside Care Clinic, as any. No offense to any of my other clients. But I'm excited for this because we as a family have shifted how we handle our medical care, and it just has come about through some frustrations with what I would call traditional medicine. And just so happens that we got introduced to Cira, who kind of follows in the path that we've now gone on, and we may or may not talk about our personal situation. It makes me excited to share what she has going on down here at the lake, which again is called Lakeside Care Clinic. So today's interview conversation is going to be about a lot of things. Who is she? What does she do? And we might even get into some of those deep, dark conversations about big pharma and politics and how it all kind of plays into the medical system that I don't think a lot of people are very familiar with. But before we get into that, Cira, hey, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Jeff.
Thanks for having me here.
Hey, thanks for coming. I'm excited about this. I think we're going to have some really good conversations. And honestly, just my hope and goal is that it's just education for the public.
Good. So we're sitting here in a patient room, and we decided to use that as our backdrop today because I want you to describe in your terms what you are, because I think a lot of consumers might struggle to understand, well, it's not the traditional setup, but it is. And that's what I wanted to show. How do you describe what you do?
Wow. Well, this is definitely going to take more than one sentence. So
fire away.
Let me start. I am a primary care provider. So just like in the traditional sense or traditional group of primary care providers, if you go and establish, you go over your medical history, your medication list, your supplements, anything that you have medical wise, we're going to talk about just like you would any other primary care provider. We're going to talk about different screenings that are age appropriate and recommended for that age. You know, we're going to send orders out. Primary care provider, I do all the same things. The difference is I don't take insurance. What that allows me to do though is actually spend more time with the patient and treat them and meet them kind of where they are with their healthcare desires. I also have a walk-in clinic, so it's a flat fee just to be seen. So again, don't take insurance. But when you walk out, you're not going to get a bill later. But when you come in, it's like being seen in any other urgent care. I suture, I treat, I do UAs, urinalysis, we'll do strep swabs, flu swabs, COVID swabs, all the things that you may or may not want. We're going to, again, meet you where you are still, treat you to the best we can, and meeting that person where they are. So whether that's giving them appropriate medications that they may need for something that's going on, maybe they're treating more holistically in the sense of we're going to do vitamins, supplements to boost their immune system. So we're going to talk about all of that and treat them. We also have a whole wellness component to what we do. So we have the weight loss, peptides, hormone replacement, aesthetics, vitamin infusions. My thought on that is that's being more proactive. A lot of times in traditional medicine, you are going once you have a problem, right? So you're going to have a problem, you go, you need to fix your problem. Probably going to get pills thrown at you because that's to do something or to treat. A lot of things are just done with medications. I want to treat people on the front end and be more proactive with them. Maybe if it's that person that's like, man, I keep having this stuff going on, you know, or typically in the past, like I've had struggled in the winters. Hey, come see me beforehand. Let's boost your immune system. Let's get you healthy so that going into the winter months, maybe you don't get sick at all. So we're going to talk about those things. We're going to talk about just max metabolic health and getting you healthy on a cellular level so that your energy's good, your mental status is good, your sleep is good, all of that is good. Not just treating in a reactive manner, which I would say is like more traditional medicine, but also proactive.
And I didn't think about this or understand this because it's almost like we're all pawns in the system and you don't ever really truly think about it. Again, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but for us, it was the frustration of a chronically sick daughter, a chronic puking daughter, and it's like something's not right. And the doctor continually said, she's fine, there's nothing wrong. And eventually it, got us talking to enough people to say, you should go a different route and go get her tested, blah, blah, blah. Turns out she's gluten allergy. Ever since she's been non-gluten, we've had zero puking. Even her allergies have subsided. Like, it's amazing, which has now led us down the path of doing a lot of research, which led us obviously to you. What I wanted to point out as we get into this conversation is notice how she uses the word proactive versus reactive. And I think that we as patients never actually understood or realized that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And there's a method to the madness. It involves money, right?
Yeah.
Before we get into that though, because I definitely want to go down that piece today, what's your story? How did you end up here, which started in traditional medicine, right?
Yeah, it did actually. So I have been a nurse practitioner for 11 years now. I started out in traditional family practice, very excited on my new adventure. And I was so blessed to have been with 3 providers, and they were all very different, but I love that because they taught me to really think outside of the box. It's not one way. It's not one size fits all, right? And so I started in traditional family practice. I was in family practice for 3 years and quickly thought, man, this is not what I signed up for. I just felt like people would come in and I just had to pass out pills. I mean, you have to, if someone comes in with a complaint, they have to leave being treated, right? You can't say, oh, go drink some more water.
Yeah, let it run its course.
Right, you can't do that.
They don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear that. It comes down to a lot of federal guidelines that are put into patient visits. We'll dive into that at some point. So there's a lot of requirements that you have to do. So I found myself spending so much time caught up in charting, trying to check all the boxes to meet these federal quality measures and all these guidelines and check marks that you had to reach for the company to get reimbursed by the insurance. So I quickly was thinking, gosh, I want to use my brain. Like, I don't want to spend all my time charting and checking boxes. So I then decided maybe I'm going to go to a specialty field. So I joined pulmonary at that time, and I was there for 4 years. And I love pulmonary. I mean, it was taking care of very sick people. But again, I found myself, man, here's a handful of disease processes, and we're going to throw these 5 medications at them or a different selection, and then what? So I just never felt like I was making a difference. And then big bad COVID happened. So that was kind of changing the healthcare industry as a whole. And I did for a split second think, man, what other career path can I take? I just need to get out of healthcare altogether. But then I was very, very blessed to meet the next amazing doctor that has been a big part of my life is Dr. Powell. And she ran the local direct primary care clinics in town. You didn't hear a lot about her, but I always kind of knew what she did, and she didn't take insurance, and she went a different model. She had a completely different model. So her and I connected. She thankfully offered me a job. I went and worked with her for 2 years where she taught me a lot. And I still kind of thought, man, I think I'm just gonna get out for a little while. And so I just did med spa, so medical aesthetics and wellness for a year. I had started that when I left pulmonary. I continued on, but then eliminated the medical side, but really missed it. Still helped be backup for Dr. Powell. And Dr. Powell was constantly pushing me, and we need an urgent care around here that people can go to.
And this was at the lake?
This was, at the lake. And we only have a few urgent cares, and it's generally, they're always backed up. I mean, those providers, listen, I worked in the urgent care and as a temporary thing for like 9 months, and those providers get slammed. I feel terrible for them because they are all amazing, amazing providers that are expected to spend 2 minutes with a patient and move to the next.
So that's why there's so many of like the mercies that are popping up, feels like everywhere over the last 5 or 10 years.
Yes. She wanted me to do urgent care. So I thought, man, do urgent care, but I liked everything else. And she's been maxed out. She was maxed out on memberships at the time. So yeah, we talked about it and decided, hey, I can do direct primary care model as well and offer the urgent care side so that everyone in the community, maybe they don't need a primary care because they have a primary care. There are a lot of really good primary care providers in this area. I don't want to take from them. If someone has a good primary care provider, that's amazing. They need to stay with them. I still want them to have somewhere to go to get treated if their primary care provider can't get them in. And so still having that option for the walk-in basis. And then of course, I love the wellness side of things. I think there's a lot of validity to getting healthy on the front end. So I didn't really want to do away with that either. I love GLP-1s. They're huge. They're a hot topic. They have been a hot topic. Been in that world for 4 years now. And I never prescribed weight loss medications before the GLP-1s came out, but I love what they're doing to people on a metabolic level that is improving health overall. So again, that's probably a whole topic in itself, but, and then hormones, same thing. We underestimate the health benefits and how good we can feel when we're treating our body on a cellular level and just correcting the problems that we have. People say, oh, we didn't have this problem 30, 40 years ago. We didn't have the foods that we have now. we're seeing different disease processes occur because we're being exposed to a lot more garbage, quite frankly. And so I think it's something
processed
that,
food
it's
primarily.
processed foods, it's additives, all the additives and chemicals that go into it, even the organic stuff. They're still sprayed with chemicals.
That's marketing.
It is.
Yeah.
And so to put all of that into place, I just think that you're looking at the whole picture. When you bring in the wellness and you correct someone just on a baseline level, you start there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, there's a lot of places we can go here. Before we get too far away from it, you are local to the lake. We're in Osage Beach. I'll let you give the details. You mentioned walk-ins. You also can do virtuals. Kind of talk about that just so people understand. Because I think if you're not already picking up what we're throwing down here, it's different, in my opinion, the way I would describe it. And I think you've said this before. I will meet you where you want to be met. And if anybody has ever felt what we have felt in our family, was that traditional medicine seems to want to put you in a certain box. And there's, again, monetary benefit behind it. Some people just don't know any better. They're just playing the game. Of course, here I go going down rabbit hole.
So first of all, where are we located? So we are right off of KK. When you go down KK, going towards Margaritaville, it's around that very first corner. You'll see Lake Regional Cardiology Building and New Springs Wellness to the left, across from Macadoodles. I'm on the back side of the cardiology building. There's 4 different clinics or clinic settings, offices back there. I'm one of the 4. So you'll come in the back door, go to the 2nd level, and there we are. It is hard to find, but we're there. Let's talk about urgent care. So for that person that wakes up, or maybe for several days, they've had this sore throat, they've had this fever, they can't shake it. They call their doctor, hey, I'm really sick, I need to be seen. Oh gosh, we're booked, we can't get you in. So they're looking at going to urgent care. I am an option for that. So when they go to traditional organization of urgent care, they're going to go in, they're going to pay their copay, they're going to give them their insurance card. Whatever your insurance is, you may go home, you're going to get a bill for whatever your deductible is and all of that good stuff. You come here, you pay a flat $125 fee, and you get seen. If you need medications, that's for if you're having respiratory stuff, if you're having stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, pain with urination, if you got a big cut and you think you need sutures, come in. Fell on the ice and think you broke something. Come in.
Yep.
I can send orders for imaging. I do not have imaging in the clinic, but I use advanced radiology a lot. They do cash pay and they take insurance. So I will send people over to them and have them get whatever image that is appropriate and then come back. We go over it together and go from there. If they come in and they think, man, I may have to go see a specialist, say they broke their arm, they need to go see ortho, I'm going to send that referral to whatever orthopedic surgeon they choose to go to. Whether it's local, whether it's Columbia, Jeff City, wherever they want to go, that's where I'm going to send them.
Sure.
I can send those referrals out. I can send medications to the pharmacy. I do have medications here. A lot of times, if they need an antibiotic or a steroid or inhaler, anything like that, then I can treat most things that are going to come through the urgent care with the medications here that I have.
Got it. You mentioned come in, but there's also virtual, right?
Yes, we do offer virtual.
Okay.
That's $65.
I feel like crap. My throat hurts. You just jump on a Zoom call.
Jump on a Zoom call. If for whatever reason, as the provider, Kat is the nurse practitioner that helps me, so I will get on there. If we feel that we really need to put hands on you to further evaluate, we're not going to charge you the $65 and $125 to come in, right? Yep. So it's going to be one fee. And yeah, you just do a virtual. We treat you, take care of you, give you all the recommendations, advice, prescriptions, whatever is needed.
Awesome. So we've got drop-ins, you obviously do scheduled appointments, you do virtuals, or anything we're missing?
I've really kind of been expanding on the wellness side of things for peptides. So we're doing peptide consultations, hormone consultations, of course, doing hormone replacement, weight loss, vitamin infusions, and aesthetics. And I'm getting ready to launch a hair restoration service. So I just bought...
As in for people like me?
Yes, actually. And so I'm very excited about this. It's called the Alma TED. It's a ultrasound. And so it uses ultrasonic waves to penetrate down into the tissue, open the pores, open the tissue, and you put a serum down. And then that device will actually use mild air pressure with ultrasonic waves to get those nutrients into the hair follicle to basically feed it nutrients, right? So it's restoring those hair follicles and regenerating and making the current hair follicles healthier.
Interesting. So literally you're running a gamut that a typical doctor's office does not.
Yeah, not at all.
So again, you've already set the stage and set a lot of different balls on tees for future content. And I want to go ahead and throw this out there too, is you should go follow Cira and her practice on the socials, because we're going to talk through a lot of this in a short form fashion. So where can they find you on the various social platforms so somebody can just tune in for what's coming?
Yeah, just go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It'll be Lakeside Care Clinic. Look us up, follow us. I strongly encourage you follow us, because I'm looking forward to a lot of these conversations that, again, I just want it to be educational for people.
Yep. I want to go back to the topic of proactive versus reactive. So for somebody who's kind of been living in the Stone Ages, which I think is most, can you explain what that means and what the traditional medical system basically designed to do, which is keep you sick, versus a proactive approach, which is let's get to the root of the problem, fix it so you don't have to keep coming back here every year?
Yeah, I am going to dive into that, and I want to preface this before I go into that with saying that when I talk about traditional healthcare, I never in a million years want that to be misconstrued as me talking negative about an organization, local or not local, a provider, a physician, a nurse practitioner, a PA, any of them, because I don't think that's where the problem lies. They're doing what they need to do to stay in business and to offer healthcare. They have to. They have hospitals, ERs. We have to have those things. So it is vitally important for them to meet federal regulations and guidelines to stay in business, to to get reimbursed by insurance companies. Providers, it's their job, it's their career. A lot of these people have put their entire life into making this career. So you can't expect that, because the healthcare shifts and things are so different, that they can just walk away from a lifetime of a career. So I don't ever want that to be misconstrued first and foremost when I talk about traditional primary care, traditional healthcare, things like that. I will say that, kind of diving into what your question was, traditional healthcare being reactive. A lot of times when we go to the doctor, we're going again with a problem. How many times do you go to your doctor because you're like, I feel good, but I just want to feel better? Have you ever done that?
No, but I'm sure a lot of people do. Maybe not.
Nah, not so
I guess
much.
not.
And
they go because they have
a problem. The problem, right? And so they go and they get a pill and they fix that problem. Or maybe they have a new problem. They've got high blood pressure, or they've got these onset of headaches. Well, man, you've got a new onset of migraines. We're going to put you on this medication, right? You're just going to take this medication all the time to prevent it. But maybe instead of looking at that, we dive in a little deeper and say, why? Why all of a sudden are we having this onset of acute migraines when you've not had it before? What in your life has changed? That right there is digging into the root cause of the problem.
Clearly, you've put a flag in the ground that you're going to be PC, you're going to be politically correct. I'm going to ask you some tough questions occasionally because I'm almost irritated by it, a little pissed about it, right? Luckily, I've been a healthy person, so I haven't been filled full of pills my whole life. But when you say that, when you talk about they're going to fix it with a pill, when you talk about these people mean well and it's a career, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, so they know what they're doing is not necessarily right, but because they're deep in a career, they just need to continue to play the game.
I don't know that they each know a different way. Think about if you were raised a certain way and never exposed to anything different, why would you think anything different?
Sure.
That's where it goes back to my
So you're
first
telling me that
collaborator.
they've basically been manipulated?
Oh, by big pharma and insurance and government, 100%. I will go down that pathway and not be politically correct all day long.
Good, that'll be fine. Okay.
Because that 100% is, I think, manipulation, dictatorship from the top of where the money comes from.
As a business mind that I feel like I have, I applaud Big Pharma. Like, you figured it out. You figured out how to become super wealthy. In fact, I make the joke all the time because my last name's Fitzer. I get called Pfizer. I'm like, if I was actually Pfizer, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be on an island somewhere because I'd be filthy rich. Again, digress too far here, but there was always the conversations during COVID that the Pfizer owners, they themselves weren't getting pricked. And it's like, oh, what's going on here?
Well, and I was going to say, they did it right, but at what expense? At our expense, at the human population expense, right? Medicine shifted at some point about truly being science and finding cures and finding things to correct problems and make people healthier, to now there's so much money. It's so much money in pharmaceuticals. Like, why would we want people healthy?
It's almost kind of like an oxymoron. On one side, we're saying they want to keep you sick. On the other side of the coin, when compared to 30, 40 years ago, like you said, well, it wasn't this way, but 30, 40 years ago, the average lifespan was also maybe in the 60s or 70s. Now it's pushing into the 80s. So we're living longer, but yet they're keeping us sick all the while. It's like they're just keeping us just sick enough not to kill us, although COVID might argue that. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Man, but gosh, think about, 60 to 80-year-old age range, for example. Man, you know how many medications the majority of the population in that age range are on? At least 10.
Really?
At least 10. They're all on a blood pressure med. They're all on a statin. That one's a big one. That's its own world of conversation. But then they're all on a diuretic for their blood pressure. They're on another heart medication, diabetic medication.
Somebody right now is watching this saying, oh my God, she's talking about me.
Yeah.
Which is designed to keep them alive. I'm guessing here, and you answered the question. It actually is preventative, but it's not getting to the root of the problem.
It's not getting to the root of the problem. You're just
And
masking.
is there a problem? You know, I'm a 70-year-old who takes 10 pills a day.
I tell the person, if they are taking 10 pills a day and they don't have any side effects and their quality of life is fantastic, keep taking the 10 pills. I don't care.
Sure.
It's about their quality of life. But if they're on 10 pills a day and they've got this side effect and this side effect and this side effect and this side effect, and man, they really can't go out and do a whole lot because of this, this, and this, then maybe we need to sit down and reevaluate and take a different approach.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it's still about the patient and what they want to do and what does healthcare look like to them and quality of life. I think quality of life is huge. And I think at some point, even in the medical world, we quit thinking about that. You know, we just mask.
Yeah. I also want to ask you too about, you know, just recently our daughter, for the first time since going gluten-free, you know, finally contracted an illness, which has been going around, stomach flu, right? And my wife said, we're going to treat this differently than we've ever treated it. And I don't want you pumping her full of Tylenol. And we're going to let it run its course. And which is hard because you sit there and watch her and she's miserable, but yet we held serve. Now she's better. Again, I want to talk about that at some point because it makes me start thinking, well, should I stop taking ibuprofen or Tylenol or whatever?
So yeah, I definitely think that we probably overuse it. We know there's downsides. I mean, I was raised where if you hurt, go take an ibuprofen. You know, and unfortunately, my kids will tell you to this day that that's my response to them. Go take an ibuprofen. And I've tried to myself even learning more about even what ibuprofen does to the body and how much gut inflammation and reduced absorption in the gut you have because of ibuprofen. It is hard on the kidneys. It's hard on the stomach. There are always risks with everything you take, right? I think at the end of the day, you have to weigh the risk versus benefits. I think it's good to have medications when the risk of not taking the medication is greater than waiting.
Sure.
Right? And so, or just taking the medication. Risk and benefits are huge. I was taught that through school. You always look at the risk and benefits. That is one thing I think that we've stopped looking at again.
This is going to go down so many different paths. Like I said, go follow Lakeside Care Clinic, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you spend time. So wherever you choose to be. Coming soon, we're going to be helping Cira obviously get all of this message out there today. I really just wanted to highlight her for our channels because I think it's a business that is, as I have conversations with more and more people, that they are being more and more open to it. I was sick in December and came in to see you and you said, have you ever had a vitamin IV? And I'm like, what in the hell is that? Apparently a lot of people know about it, but like you said, nobody will talk about it or push it because there's no money in vitamins.
Right.
These are all the things that we're going to talk about and continue to educate you on. And if you don't want to wait, just call in, schedule an appointment. Now, we as a family do not have traditional health insurance anymore. And so our first question for you was, we are on your membership plan, meaning we can come in, we get our visits, whatever. And then the question then is, okay, what do you do in an emergency? How is that paid for? Now I'm going to get a $50,000 bill. And there is a solution to that. So kind of talk about that and then we'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah, there is. And so a lot of people have heard of some healthcare shares, or maybe they haven't. There's a lot of different healthcare shares out there. I do think you have to kind of vet some of them. There's one in Jeff City that I really like. It's Impact Health. And I've heard great things about it. I've read great things. I've know people that have been members to them, and it's good. The benefit of that is with Impact Health, I'm going to use Impact Health. So again, there's many out there that you can choose from, but Impact Health is going to give you like an actual insurance card. If you have to go to the hospital, to the ER, you're going to go in and you're going to say, oh, here it is. You're actually presenting as a cash pay patient, so not as an insured. But what happens is your monthly, we'll call it a premium, because those are the terminology that most people are used to.
Which, by the way, it's about a third of what my group insurance was through a company. Yeah,
most of the time,
very inexpensive comparative.
For two people, it ranges anywhere from $250 to $700 maybe, and then for a family of 4+, it's usually anywhere from $350 to I'm going to say $800.
We're in like the $600s.
Yeah, somewhere in there, and so
and I think I was $1,500 before.
Oh yeah. Yeah, mine went to 2,200 and I'm switching over because it's
Outrageous.
insane. However, you present as a cash pay patient. The beauty of presenting as a cash pay patient is from bigger organizations, if they don't have to bill the insurance, they're automatically taking off anywhere from 50 to 70% of your total bill. 50 to 70%. Wow. That is how much they have to mark up just to maximize reimbursement from insurance, because insurance only reimburses anywhere from like 30 to 40%. It's insane. And then the patient gets stuck with the rest of the bill. Presenting through a healthcare share, you're presenting as a cash pay patient, you're going to take that bill, you're going to automatically get 50 to 70% off. Impact Health is going to say, okay, this is what you owe. You may have a 10% what they call co-share or deductible or whatever, and you pay that part of it. But it's essentially putting all the money into one big pot. Whatever member of that healthcare share needs it that month, they divvy it up between them.
It's fascinating. And it's probably much deeper than we can go into in this short time. But the point is there's a solution. We're now living it. I'm not here for profit gain. I'm here because I'm genuinely fascinated by this and we are living it and going down this path.
Yeah, they also will, which is one thing I love about them, is they will give a little bit of a kickback and reimbursement to put towards wellness programs. So chiropractor, massage therapy, or direct primary care model, such as mine. So that way you're not paying for two platforms of healthcare. You can still pay for one and get your primary care needs, the immediate things taken care of, but also be covered on a catastrophic level.
So much to go down, and we will. Let's wrap this up. If the one thing I don't think you've given is a contact.
Yes, if you want to, even if you have questions, I mean, I always encourage people to, maybe they just have questions. Is this right for me? Come in, sit down with me, have a consultation, and we'll just go over all the information and I'll kind of give you feedback on what's right and what's not. And with that being said, I tell people, if this isn't a good fit, I'm going to say, hey, just come in my urgent care when you need me. Maybe membership's not a good fit for that person, and that's okay too. But if you want to have a consultation, if you have questions, give us a call, 573-693-1011.
And you also have a website, right?
Yep, we have a website, lakesidecareclinic.com.
And I assume all of this stuff that I'm looking at here.
Most of it. It's currently being updated because I've added services.
Okay.
You know, I've been open 1 year and it has been growing rapidly. I've definitely added some services, so we're getting all of that updated.
This is going to be fun. Stay tuned. And again, go follow the Lakeside Care Clinic on whichever social platform you're on. We're going to go deep down the rabbit holes of many of these controversial topics. You've come to the right place because I like to stir pots. So this is at a whole nother level, but I look forward to these conversations. Cira, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.